Namo Amida Butsu. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whenever you are, in whichever realms of existence you are, whatever mind states you're in, whatever conditions you're in. Welcome to my channel. Wanted to talk about today the rarity of human birth. I've talked about in other videos that I had on other YouTube channels, and I think even in two YouTube videos on this channel, and I've often just reflected about this to myself, that I thought I was born into that I was part of East Asian culture prior to this, for how drawn I have been to all things East Asian, that I was born into different East Asian cultures and this sort of thing. When I reflect on that in light, and that's one of the reasons I was drawn to Buddhism, and then was eventually drawn to Pure Land Buddhism and Amida Buddhism. But and obviously there's the work of always knowing that there's the work of Amida in those things, creating those good causes for me, and always at work with his light, his vow, bringing me toward the Dharma. But the other aspect of that is that okay, that was if I was born repeatedly in East Asian cultures on this planet, in the way that I think about it, it would mean I was born in repeatedly within the last 10,000 years or something as a human. And and first of all, no human can know anything about a rebirth. So this is all sheer speculation and just intuitive whatever on my part, which is all tainted with delusion and obscuration and everything. So it's just me speculating. But with how rare human birth is, that would to be born repeatedly within East Asian cultures within the last, say, 6,000 to 10,000 years or something, to be able to be drawn to those cultures in this life, that doesn't seem to jive with the Dharma, as Shakyamuni taught it about the turtle, the story of the rarity of human birth. And he gives the analogy of the turtle that arises every billions of years to the surface of the ocean, and then there's this wooden ring floating on the ocean, and the chance of that turtle just happening to come up every billions of years and actually intersect with and appear, arise inside that ring is the same. It's the same chance of human birth. That's how rare human birth is. The same chance of being born as a human is like that. So that'd be pretty extraordinary if I. This didn't lead where I thought it would lead. Anyway, that would be quite extraordinary if if I did that numerous times as a human. So that's not a possibility. So maybe being born as an animal, maybe I was born as an insect or animal or ghost in those cultures repeatedly or whatever, or enough times for me to have that. Maybe that's again speculation, but that's I have to look at it that way to think of it, because you just think not the current, but Asian culture, East Asian culture, is however many, millennia old. It's one of the oldest civilizations on Jaibudvipa, on planet Jaibudvipa. It's one of the oldest ones, but if not the oldest sort of actual culture. So there's not a lot of time there, though, if you think of it in terms of rebirth and the kalpas, the massive kalpas of time that Buddhism deals with. And the rarity of human birth. That would be, I just couldn't. It would have to be other types of birth. If it would have to be other types of births in that time frame, not human births, but animal births or ghost births, rebirths in those times or in those cultures. So it's just interesting. And the only other way I could think of it is sort of in a multiple multiverse, version of the multiple worlds of Buddhism. The world systems of Buddhism. They're innumerable and countless and massively containing universes upon universes. So the only other way I could think of it is, well, maybe in these other universes, I was born, in countless long time ago, countless kalpas, innumerable kalpas ago, as a human, in those very rare times where that occurred, into East Asian cultures in that universe, which might no longer exist, if you see what I mean. But there was something that resembles what we think of as East Asian culture in those various universes that existed, or previously exist, or may still exist, but where I experienced that billions, in those rare times I was born as a human. When I say I, anyway, you know what I mean. So that's the only way I could think of it, to be in sync with the teaching about the rarity of human birth. And obviously I have a pretty good imagination to think about these things, for better or for worse. I think in some ways that's helped me a lot to be able to understand the Dharma in some ways, to whatever very limited extent I can, because of my expansive imagination and ability to think abstractly, and I can that helps. But on the other hand, it also increases my delusion as well, my ignorance, my obscuration, imagination, a very active imagination. So anyways, it's my gift, it's my curse, as as Frank Black might have said. Anyway, where was I? So that's the only ways that I can think that I was born into East Asian cultures. Just speculating, were either as repeated births, say, as animals, insects, or other beings, non-human beings, or pretas, into East Asian cultures on this planet Jaibudvipa, and then had this one as a human, something like that. Or, like I said, billions and billions and billions and billions, like Carl Sagan would say, billions and billions and billions of kalpas past, where there were universes in multiverses elsewhere that once had an East Asian-like culture. That's what I experienced as a human being, or what a humanoid being. Anyway, but again, it's all speculation. It's all I can't obviously, of course, know this. I just know I've become very more and more, I'd say, put it this way, I've become more and more convinced over time that Amida Buddha has been working in all of my past existences, for innumerable existences, innumerable rebirths, to bring me to this point, which I'm very grateful for. And ultimately, it's only through Amida Buddha's power, light, vow, and transfer of merit, etc., that any of this, and any connection to Amida is happening. Any connection to the Amida Dharma is happening. So again, I come back to that gratitude that I was born in a rare human rebirth. That I had the causes to be born as a human in this rare occurrence of being born as a human, and so I had the causes to have that, to be able to at least be born as a human, and the good enough good karmic causes, just good enough to be able to encounter the Buddha-Dharma in a meaningful way, and ultimately good past causes to encounter the Amida Dharma, the Pure Land Dharma gate, the Jodo Shinshu Dharma gate. I'm very grateful. Actually, I'm going to go this way a bit further. I'm grateful for that. That's the reason I'm born. I'm grateful to be born as a human. I gotta be honest, there's not too much else that I have huge gratitude for being born as a human, in this clown world, ridiculous version of Jaibudvipa in the Saha world, in samsara, in this, consciousness. Like, there's not too much of me that's grateful for that or proud of that, other than that I was born as a human. And also not proud of the fact that I'm born in Mappo. I'm born in the declining Kalpa, the tail end of the declining Kalpa, in Mappo. Like, doesn't really, it doesn't say much about my past karmic causes. It doesn't say much good about them. It says a lot of bad. So, it's not, so I'm not too grateful, other than being born as a human is the best. But I'm grateful because being born as a human is the best opportunity that you have to encounter the Buddha-Dharma, to encounter the Amida Dharma, to be able to entrust to Amida, say Amida's name, and wish to be born in his land. So I'm grateful for that. But anything else that I'm grateful for in life is like immeasurably beneath that gratitude that I have for that reason, being born as human. Anything else that I'm grateful for, my wife, marriage, other things in life, having a job. There's a lot I'm grateful for. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot I'm grateful I have a job. I'm grateful that I am a survivor. I'm grateful that I can, I have a certain level of intelligence that I can, do things and whatnot. But, those my gratitude for those things is like, to say pales in comparison to my gratitude to the level of my gratitude for being born as a human, to be able to encounter the Buddha Dharma, the Amida Dharma, and entrust to Amida. To say that pales in comparison to that is like the understatement of every multiverse that ever existed. Like, it's like so far, anything that I'm grateful for in this existence is so far beneath that, and my contempt that I have for this existence, and that's for me myself. It's not, my disgust with it isn't just for everything else, for for everything else, because it's collective karma, but it's also my individual karma. I'm here because I deserve to be. So my disgust with it isn't just disgust with everything out there, or it's with me as well. mostly, my response, and I have to watch it because, it does, you can't, it's not really healthy to live in that. So I let go of it most of the time, and try to focus, change the focus to Amida, change the focus to Joro Shinshu, change the focus to just being grateful that that I was born a human, so I can encounter the Buddha-Dharma and the Amida Dharma and etc. Rather than dwelling in that. But my other than those things, there's not much I can truly say I am massively, deeply grateful for in this existence. So, anyways, that's just a thought I had, some speculation I had that it's better out than in. I might raise that at some point with Kroikan, but there's more. I think there's more important questions to be answered and doubts to be resolved with, and this is more just just out of interest. This my and you can't know your past lives anyway, as a human, especially as a bamboo, as a foolish spiritual idiot. You can't really know. You can't know your hello. Sorry about that. Just greeting a non-human walking past the dog that came over to see me. Anyway, so there's not a lot you could really discuss about it other than your speculation, really. So I have more important things to talk about with Kroikan, and he has a limited time, with his job. He's busy. He's a very busy man, and I'm just very grateful for the time he gives me to be able to have these discussions, both via chat media type message media platforms, as well as on Zoom. But yeah, so anyway, don't know if anybody else has had those thoughts or meanderings of speculation. If so, you're not alone. And yeah, that's about it. Namo Amida Butsu.